Wow, well, it looks like a major hurdle has just been crossed. The first hurdle that has to be crossed in order for this fourth stimulus package to actually go through. This Build Back Better plan, the infrastructure plan that the Biden administration has just laid out, at least part one of that plan. In order for it to go through, there's a whole bunch of hurdles it needs to cross, whether it's getting Republicans on board or whether it's going through the reconciliation process, which it just did with the third stimulus package. I'm going to tell you what that is, along with a couple other key updates. If you're on SSI, SSDI, you're going to want to hear this update as well. And if you're looking for more stimulus checks, especially those ongoing, potentially monthly stimulus checks, you're going to want to see this one. Hey everyone, my name is Randy, and welcome back to the Late Night Grind, a YouTube channel that I've been covering these stimulus packages when there's new developments. So if you're new to the channel, go ahead, click the subscribe button, make sure to tap that bell notification icon, and what that'll do is YouTube will send you a notification when I release a new video, and I do that when I get new developments. And the best thing you can do to help out and support a new YouTube channel like this is, of course, hitting that thumbs up button, and of course, watching the videos all the way through. If you do that, I'd greatly appreciate it. All right, guys, well, let's get into it. So the first thing we're going to look at is those on SSI and SSDI. You've been looking at the Social Security Administration looking for your $1,400 stimulus checks. Now, for the past couple of weeks, there have been signs, and I have been noticing people leaving comments in my videos as well as other videos saying they did receive their $1,400 stimulus deposit into their bank account or to their Direct Express card, which goes right along with what the IRS basically said, that they've been making these payments as they made these payments in waves. Some of those that were on SSI and SSDI were actually getting those as well. Well, they made an update a couple of days ago to the IRS Get My Payment portal. So those on SSI and SSDI could go and check the status of your $1,400 stimulus check. And for the most part, from everybody that I've been seeing, have gotten notifications that said their payment is pending, it's on the way, the delivery date is April 7th. So if you've already gotten your payment, go ahead and comment down below and just let me know whether you've received your payment or whether you've checked the IRS Get My Payment portal and if it gave you a new notification. And if not, let me know in the comment section below. I just want to keep track of this as we go along. So April the 7th is when the IRS said the rest of the $1,400 payments will be deposited electronically. Now, obviously, it's going to take a couple more days if they're going to have to send out paper checks or through the Direct Express card. It may take an extra couple of days just because it has to go through the mail. So that is good news if you've been looking at the Social Security Administration and saying what the heck is going on. So for you guys, I really hope that that comes through and we don't have to kind of continue to drag this out and look for and try to continue to answer those questions of where's my $1,400? I qualified. The other thing we've learned is that the IRS has actually been giving plus-up payments for those that submitted 2019 tax returns, but that didn't get their 2020s in on time, and if they were due to actually receive more stimulus because their 2020 return deems they do, such as they have another child, had added another dependent, whatever it was, that they were shorted, those payments are now actually going out and hitting people's bank accounts without them even knowing it. So please check your bank account if you sent in your 2020 tax returns recently and you've done something like added a dependent or maybe your income was lowered. The IRS is now sending out payments to make up for those. And now we're going to get into this fourth stimulus check and the big hurdle, in fact, the first hurdle that really needs to get passed in order for this to go through. Because there's a couple of things that we're going to really need to keep an eye on, and they're going to continue to need to pass those hurdles, or else this stimulus package has absolutely no shot. So the first one is that Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer has actually been working with the Senate parliamentarian who's supposed to be third party, basically working with him and getting the parliamentarian to agree that if they're going to put through another stimulus plan or another spending plan, another infrastructure plan, that what they're going to need to do, they're going to need to do it by the revision of the reconciliation process that they just went through, or the reconciliation bill that was just passed, which is that third stimulus package. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, basically, before that was actually allowed, Congress can only use the Reconciliation Act one time per year. They've already used it for this year. They could use it for 2022, but they would have to wait for October. That's when some people were thinking the next stimulus plan or stimulus package was actually going to get passed. Well, now if you do a revision, they're allowed to do that 9 times over the next 3 years. They've already done it once. They can use it 2 more times before the end of the year. So what does that do? Well, this allows Joe Biden to actually push through the infrastructure bill that may have only been allowed to go through in October and it can go through earlier now if every single Democrat is on board. Now, what are we going to look to next? That's the next big hurdle. Well, it's kind of the same hurdle that the third stimulus package faced, and that is Democratic Senator Joe Manchin. He's been front and center in the news throughout these stimulus packages because he's the centrist, he's the more moderate Democrat. He doesn't want to just go spending and going into major debt willy-nilly just because some people say they need it. Him, along with Kristen Sinema, and according to Joe Manchin, there's as many as 6 or 7 other Senate Democrats that are really pushing back against this infrastructure package. Some of which include a total amount, what it's being spent on, and if you look back at the third stimulus package, what Joe Manchin was against was anything that was trying to be put through that the Senate parliamentarian would have been against, such as stimulus checks. Well, if the Senate parliamentarian allowed the stimulus checks to go through, then Joe Manchin was okay with it. So getting the Senate parliamentarian on board was key for people like Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema, among potentially others, to get on board with a fourth stimulus package. Because remember, it's highly unlikely they're going to get any Republicans on board with this. They're going to need every Democratic vote in the Senate to actually get this passed. Joe Biden has now doubled down and said, I don't really care if we have Republicans on board. We are pushing this infrastructure bill through. Now, as it stands for stimulus checks within that package, well, we've seen plenty of updates of all the Democratic congressmen wanting to put through monthly or multiple stimulus checks until the end of the pandemic or the effects of the pandemic. So is that going to be included in this infrastructure plan? I don't know. Is it going to be in part 1, part 2? Who really knows what's going to happen? But if you want to keep updated with all these developments that are happening literally on a daily basis, go ahead, click the subscribe button. And anytime I see some new developments, I put out a new video. So I really appreciate you watching, giving this video a big thumbs up, and I'll see you guys on the next video.